Hi, this is your girl T Love, and we're here at North DeKalb Mall for the American Civil Rights Foot Soldiers Movement, and we're celebrating giving out honors to some of the recipients. And this is a foot soldier right here. I was blessed to be able to go to Washington with him last week, and we had a ball till the bus trip to the end, very end. But we had a ball. And tell them your tell us your name.
Reverend Jeffrey Benoit, president of the Clayton Henry chapter of the National Action Network.
Okay.
And I did enjoy your presence there on the trip for the 1,000 Ministers March.
It was such an honor and such a blessing. So tell us a little bit about some of the things that you do to help out in the community as a foot soldier.
Well, as a civil rights activist, the issues that are affecting our community, from the convenience stores to police killings, police brutality, issues with our school and education, policies, foreclosures, real estate, you name it, civil rights, we get engaged in it. We don't fight for individuals' rights because that's personal, but we fight for civil rights because that's broad and that covers everybody. Where civil rights is covered, everyone is covered. Where your rights is covered, that's individual. So we leave that individual thing alone and we address the issue on a broad scale, fighting for policy changes.
All right. So what do you think about the communities today as opposed to years ago when the community was the black on black crime? You know, because I feel very strongly about that, and I feel as a community we need to come together and do something about the black on black crime and, you know, just coming together. So what do you feel?
You're absolutely right that the issues in our community have deteriorated. What has happened is that this generation has been led on a bad detour. If you remember, the Bible says the children of Israel was in the wilderness for 40 years. And so we're on a bad detour. We're in the wilderness again. And this is because we have not taken on the responsibility as protectors and defenders. And men should be defending not just their families, but their communities for the things that they hold strong and respectful. But allowing them to just do any and everything is what we have not today. And then again, social media and media itself is a very strong deterrent. And we have to be involved with that we can help shape the narratives that they are taking away from social media as their facts when they're not.
Well, thank you so much for sharing with us, and we will be right back.
Thank you, dear.
All right, up next, we have a very, very special woman in the whole entire world. Harriet Tubman niece, who we are celebrating here today, and we will be interviewing her. So y'all make sure y'all stay tuned, and we'll be right back. Okay. Am I? Come on. Okay. All right. Hi, beautiful lady. How are you doing? Okay, can we get your name?
Geraldine Copes Daniels, great-grandniece of Harriet Tubman.
It is such an honor to be standing here with you today because your grandmother or your aunt made so many movements or changes for our world today, for our black people, to help free them so that we could be free. And how does it feel just to have that blood running through your veins?
I believe she was a strong woman, and it runs through the family.
Okay.
We have a lot of strong people in our family. And our most of our children are graduates of college. So we enjoy just thinking about her and giving her the best of everything and keeping her name alive.
So she would definitely be proud of the family today. And who is this beautiful lady sitting beside you?
My daughter.
Oh, she is beautiful. She looks just like you too. Oh my God. Beauty runs in the family. Can I get your name?
My name is Rita Daniels.
Hi, Rita. I'm T Love, and we're with Black People Unity Television. So tell us a little bit about some of the things that your family has going on today.
Some of the things that we have going on in the family is, well, everyone understands that Harriet Tubman was not given that opportunity to read. She died illiterate. It was against the law for a slave to learn how to read. And so her lack was my gain because she lacked those things. I went to school and I made sure that I got my master's in education. So with that in mind, my mother and I have teamed up and we're starting the Harriet Tubman Learning Center. And we also are doing the Harriet Tubman Mountain Retreat. We want to work with children who lack the education they need in order to make it through the 21st century. So what that is, kids are failing, our kids especially. They're 17, 18, 19, reading at third, fourth grade levels. That's not going to get them into, they're not going to be successful. And it's not to say that every child needs to go to college, because Harriet Tubman died, but before she died, she was a conductor of the underground. She was a nurse. She was a spy. No degree. So that doesn't mean you can't be successful. When her success did not warrant or give her the honors that she should have received. So we're going to continue her legacy, and that is, we want to make sure that no one disgraces her name again. It's been done many times. So, well, I hate to name names, but there was a video that was out 3, 4 years ago by Russell Simmons, who portrayed her as a prostitute, as if she were a slave, and the goal was to have someone videotape her while she was having sex with her master. So it was going to be a bribe. They were going to bribe the master and not tell the wife as long as he did what they wanted. So it was a disgrace. He took it down. It cost him a lot of money. But in the meantime, we're not going to let that happen again. We have to protect her legacy, her likeness, and everything about her. She was a woman, number one, and she was great.
Well, we thank you guys so very much, and you continue on with the legacy, and we wish you well in your future endeavors, and we thank you guys so much. And what is one word you would like to leave us with today?
Keep it going.
Keep it going. All right.
I just want to make sure that everyone gets that education they need, and it doesn't mean go to college. It also means if you have a talent, hone in on it and do it.
Right. Like a trade. Somebody who like to do hair, makeup. Follow your passion. Let your passion be your trade to be able to make you some money. And that's what I believe in. Okay, y'all continue to be contagious and spread the love. This is your girl T Love. And we thank you so much for joining us here at BPU Television. But we got one more interview. The lady of the hour, Dr. Angela Harris. Thank you guys so much. All right. So, okay, we are here at the American Salute to. We're here with the American salute to the foot soldiers. And Dr. Angela, you are one of a foot soldier. Since I've known you, young lady, you have been out here grinding to bring the community together, especially our Black people. And why do you feel so strongly about bringing our Black community together?
Because our families, our communities, and our businesses depend on it. There's so much dysfunction in our families. There's so much violence in our communities, and there's so many failures in our Black businesses. If we don't make the change, if we don't come together in unity, then nobody's going to do it. So we have to come together. We have to make things work. We have to heal and keep it moving for the change of our future.
And you believe in bridging the gap, not only in America, but on a global scale for people of color. And why is that?
The reason why is just like right here. I believe that nationalities has no definition when it comes to our people. We are all we are all the same. When you look at my skin, your skin, and we have a young man here, which is like my nephew, but he's from the Gambia, Africa. And tell him who you are, Latif.
My name is Latif. I'm 10 years old.
You gotta speak up, baby.
My name is Latif. I'm 10 years old, and um,
Why do you believe in Black people unity?
because um, it's good for like supporting and stuff. Um, just because it's called that doesn't mean like in a kind of way of like we don't do others. Like we all support each other and stuff.
He is such a sweet young guy, and I just love Latif. He is so sweet, and he doesn't see nationality, he doesn't see color, he doesn't see anything. And that's how we need to be raising our children, whether you're from Haiti, Africa, South America, Korea, wherever you're from, we need to walk in love globally. And this is what Dr. Angela, this is why I love this woman so much, because this is what she's standing for: global unity.
Remember, y'all, the rebirth of the Black nation is changing the direction of what we used to do and taking it to another level of what we need to do. We have to do the things that's necessary to take us to the next level. It's time now, right now, to make the change. It's time right now for unity. It's time right now for love. It's time right now for everything to become kings and queens. We're destined for that. That's who we are. Look at me. Y'all see this?
I want that dress. Y'all gonna see me rocking it. Y'all gonna see me rocking it. And here is Latif's mother, Fatima. Oh gosh, and she's planted seed. You know, I talk about planting seeds, uprooting weeds, being contagious, and the spirit in this young boy has to come from somewhere. So, Mom, how are you raising Latif, and what are some of your views on unity in here in America, being that you are from Africa, and because some people, even though we're the same color, but we're segregated. Yeah. So how can we come together?
I believe in unity and believe in supporting one another, and I raised him that way. And actually, he was born here, actually in Atlanta, Georgia, but went home and be there 3 years. Raised my late mom actually raised him for 3 years, and then teach him to be a very people person. As you can tell, Latif just really love people in a way. He will ask everybody if you're doing okay, which I really like and adore about him. So we are all together. It doesn't matter whether you're from Gambia or you're from the States or you're from the UK or you're from whatever color you are. We are all God's child, and we have to be there for one another. And as you can tell, look at the queen right here. You can't even tell if she's American. Look at how she is. Isn't she beautiful?
But we shouldn't look at American, African,
And
or
look at
nothing.
how you are.
Yeah, I am a
You are a
human
people
being,
person and
a
you
human
love
being,
people.
and a child of God.
Yes.
And you guys befriended each other, and it's so beautiful. And you guys have a radio talk show, and this is your co-host. So you're bridging the gap. How do you feel about that?
I'm just applauded by just understanding the necessity of putting aside religion and nationalities and bringing all of our people together, because the more people we have, the more people we have to support.
We need more Dr. Angelas in the world. Don't you agree?
Yes, we really do. She's all about bringing people together.
And I want to thank Nathan Knight again and the SCLC for honoring me today. Sometimes you think that people don't recognize what you're doing, but we have to go. Thank you so much for tuning in to Black People Unity Television. We have one more interview, and that will be the end. I love you guys.
We love you more.
All right, up next. Okay, hi. Tell us your name.
My name is Janan.
Janan, tell us, were you one of the recipients here today?
I actually was one of the performers.
Okay.
I put together the skit about Harriet Tubman. I am I am the founder of the Jazz Collaborative, and the Jazz Collaborative is an initiative that brings together
Health, wealth, I like that.
Right.
Good health. Got
Health,
money in my pocket.
right. Health, wealth, education, environmental concerns, and social concerns in the community and in the neighborhood. So through the arts, we're able to get your attention, and we can identify what's going on with each individual in regards to what is their passion, and then you can set up a conversation. So I've been working in the West End. I've been collaborating with public policy leader, Mr. Al Bartel, and the two of us together sort of formed the Jazz Collaborative. And so we perform tonight, and I work with seniors and youth, and I'm also an advocate. So I help individuals that have substance abuse and domestic violence, and single people, get them out, help people not go to jail. So I'm doing a lot.
You are definitely a foot soldier, and we want you to continue to be contagious and spread the love out there. How can we follow you, find you, and support you?
You can. I'm definitely on Facebook. I'm working on a new website because I've added a lot of other little talents to what I'm doing, including a musical play that I'm getting ready to come out with, and some children's books, and just so you can go to the Jazz Collaborative, the Jazz Collaborative 11 at gmail.com, or you can go on Facebook and look for the Jazz Collaborative. And I am performing all over town, just trying to spread
the love.
Spread the love.
That's what it's about.
Words. That's what it's about. And so I'm so delighted to be here on this day to help celebrate the Sights and Sounds Black Museum, because it has all of the history and the continuation of the history of what we have to share with everybody.
Well, we thank you so much for being a foot soldier and out here spreading that love. You continue to be contagious. Thank you so much. All right, this is your girl. All right, we got one more. Mr. No Note. Okay. All right. Tell us your name.
No Note. N-O-N-O-T-E.
Okay, well, you look very nice here, Mr. No Note, in your African attire. So what did you feel about today's honorees and recipients?
It was really, really great, because you talk about Harriet Tubman and all the leaders far back as the past, from Ida B. Wells, the Hattie McDaniels, and to all the ladies in the past. And then in the future, like you have Dr. Harris and the ladies that was here, and Harriet Tubman's niece. These are all, oh wow, this is just really great. All the people that you meet, and you can't leave with your pants down or your thong showing, but you can leave from the rear. And we all come from the rear. So with that, man up, stand up, woman up, belt up, use your mind and dream again. God got your back to the end. See a man, make him a friend. Together we stand, we can only win. We'll stop the pain of hunger, homeless, and suffering. We'll fight this battle to the end. The same one that Harriet Tubman began. We'll do it for our ancestors we've never been. We'll teach and learn to the very end. Raise our children to be women and men. Reality is a dream's closest friend. Man up, stand up, woman up. Use your mind and dream again. God got your back to the end.
Thank you so much, Mr. No Note. You continue to be contagious and spread love and keep them pants up.
Yeah, I know that's right.
Hi, Mr. Horace. How are you? Okay. Mr. John Horton. James Horton. Thank you so much. Mr. James Horton, tell us a little bit about why you put this event together.
Well, it's very...
Okay. Here we are with Mr. James Horton, the man who put this all together. Why were you so passionate into sharing and honoring the people that you honored here today?
It's because when I was a little boy, 6 years old, my great-grandmother said to me, "You're going to travel the world telling our story." I said, "Grandmother, you should never tell me to tell stories." She said, "The difference between the story and the lie." So I'm going to tell you the story, and it's going to be very important that you do it. Don't wait on anyone to tell you, or you, when you get old enough, to tell your people your story. Okay. And if you're going to do that, then you got to go back to figure out where we came from, how we got to where we are now. And when you do that, you're going to be very, very surprised. And that's what I try to do. I try to tell our story in a way that has never been told before. I don't have anything new. The stuff that I'll have is old, but it's hard to find.
Right. So how do you feel like Black history, or why is Black history so important for today's youth?
It's very important that they understand how we got to where we are today. Because many times what they've been told and what they see on, they call it TV, I call it telling you your vision. It is not the total truth. And now we're having what we call reality TV. I watched those stories. I hadn't seen any of that reality as far as the community that I grew up in, and we're supposed to behave and act like that. So it's important. It's very, very important that we tell our story. We talk to our young people. We let them know that it was a struggle. You know, I wasn't given anything. You know, I worked for it. My mom insists. My mother refused welfare. I was so angry when I was a child because we couldn't get to some things that beginning with. Now that I'm an adult, I thank her every day and every night for doing that.
Well, Mr. Horton, how would you, or what would you like to say or leave us with today? What some words of encouragement or words of wisdom?
I think one of the most important things that we can do as a people, and I had some young people that came in with some organizations, I don't think I should call their name, and they wanted to know from me, what was my thought about what was going on in our communities today? Because we are all being shot, murdered, and killed by people who don't look like us. So I said to them, let's think about that.
Okay.
Okay? All right? And you want me to be a part of your movement. So the first place I want to go is to our community. Let's go to our community.
High five. Because
Exactly.
black on black crime is so major right now, especially here in DeKalb County. When I watch the news, it's so sad to see some of the things that are going on in the communities. How do you feel we can change that?
We have to change it. There's a sign inside the museum, and inside the museum say, our community, our responsibility. Our community, our responsibility. Listen to that. Our community, our responsibility.
So Black Lives Matter, we need to go into the communities and march.
That's exactly right. I'll lead the march.
I will too. I'll be right beside you.
Yes, let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go into the
When
community.
you ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
We're marching now. Come
All
join
right.
us.
We're marching in the army. Thank you so much,
You're
Mr.
more than
James
welcome.
Horton.
You're more than welcome.
All right, we have one more interview. Mr. Nathan Knight, what an honor. Tell us a little bit about some of the things that you have been blessed to accomplish in your past.
In my past, the very first thing I can think of is 1958. I was 11 years old, walking up Carr Street in Greensboro, North Carolina, when I saw men and women gathering on the campus of Bennett College. I walked over there to the group, and there in the back seat of a car was Reverend David Abernathy. I asked him to buy one of my newspapers for me, and he said yes. And as he was getting his money together, I immediately asked the man that was in the front seat, that was Reverend Samuel Harvey. Reverend Samuel Harvey and Rev David Abernathy was a part of the first group that started the National Civil Rights, that started Southern Christian Leadership Conference. They started in 1957. I met them in 1958. There was a third guy talking. I didn't think he was paying me any attention. And he quickly turned around. He said, "Young man, do you know what's in that newspaper?" I said, "A smart aleck." I said, "Yes, sir, I know what's in this newspaper." And I proceeded to tell him about the newspaper that I had and what was in it. The most important content in that paper to me was in the back of the newspaper, where you had the people in the hospital. The people in the hospital, their names, addresses, telephone numbers, and their room numbers, and the churches that they attended was there. So I told Dr. Martin Luther King about the people in the hospital. He turned around and said, "I'm going to buy one of your paper." He reached in his pocket. He gave me a quarter to pay for all 3 newspapers and told me to keep the 10-cent tip. I could never forget that. I could never forget that. It wasn't monumentous to me then because I had a choice. But after he bought the paper, I sold all my papers out, and I was going to run down and get some more newspaper or go in and hear him speak. What do you think I did that day?
Ran in and heard that speech.
No, I didn't. I ran as fast as I could. I got some more newspapers. I came back. He was inside, and I talked. I heard him talk. My life changed in 1958. My life changed because Dr. King had just about say anointed me on that day. So that was one of the most interesting things that happened in my life in 1958. I was 11 years old. 2 years later, in 1960, the first mass civil rights march in the South would take place against the Woolworth stores, S.H. Crest stores, and S&W cafeteria in North Carolina. And on that day, the students from North Carolina A&T State University, Bennett College, the University of North Carolina at Greensboro, those from Winston-Salem Teachers College, and all the white kids from the Jamestown Quakers College came that day, and they marched and rallied and protest. The alarm was sound. That was one of the most memorable days of my life. In 1961, those marches continued, and I met a young girl that was there. Her name was Dolores Fryer Knight. Fryer. I had that night later on. I married her. I met my wife as a student activist. She was only 12 or 13 years old. We didn't date or anything like that. I just happened to see this pretty girl, and I said, I'm going to marry her. And 5 years later, playing football at Dudley High School and being a part of the Le Cercle Francais and the science clubs, I had an opportunity to go back to her school, and she was an astounding student at the school that I attended, Lincoln Junior High School. And my science teacher was enamored over her just like she was over me. I was a little jealous about that. I thought I had something going, something special. And so her mind attracted me. And the next year, she was in a play. It was a Christmas cantata. And she was on the stage. I was with my best friend, Colonel Earlton Donnell, who's passed away. On that day, he and I went over there because there was somebody he was interested in. And I went with him. And there she was again, playing the Virgin Mary up on the stage of Christmas cantata. I knew I was going to marry that girl. I've seen her 3 times.
So how long have y'all been married?
We've been married 50 years, 9 months, and 11 days.
That is such a blessing and such a beautiful story. And we thank you so much.
I've got something else.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I want to take your mic.
Okay, here.
The civil rights movement started in Greensboro, North Carolina. It was young people, 11, 12, 13, 15. It was young kids that was a part of the movement. Dr. Martin Luther King set the tone for what was going to take place. But it would be years after that, over 40 years after he came to Greensboro, before anybody would acknowledge that he had come. And he came to Greensboro. He went down onto the coast of Albemarle Sound, where there was a black school that they were urging the black kids to integrate and go to a white school, or let white kids come to their school, and those black kids protested. They were the only school in the United States of America that said, no, we do not want to go to school with white kids, let them go someplace else. We want our black teachers to teach us. And they did it, and Dr. King was there on that day. This is history I'm telling you about. History I lived is different from history you read about. But if you Google it, you'll see what I'm talking about.
Such a blessing.
So on that day, I was enlightened by Dr. Martin Luther King on 3 different occasions that he came to Greensboro. I met Thurgood Marshall. All around me, I had men that would not let me go in the wrong direction. So those were the most inspiring things of my life. And that is the reason why we came and decided that we was going to do the American Civil Rights Foot Soldiers. Because there are people that was a part of the movement that people do not know about, and we want to get that message across. We're taking the American Civil Rights Foot Soldiers into a community close to where you are, North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, Meridian, Mississippi. We coming, Nashville, Ohio.
Thank you so much. I feel your passion, and I thank you so much for all the opportunities that you are giving us to plant seeds and be contagious and spread love.
Thank you so much. That's our duty. It's our duty.
All right. All right, this is your girl T Love, and I will do a tribute to Dr. Martin Luther King. Like Dr. Martin Luther King, I also have a dream. Yes, a dream, dreaming of freedom, free from drugs and crime, between the black and white line. Although it is hard, hold on tight. Stand up, people, keep the fight. Martin said the nation will rise up and love the true meaning of its creed. But that's sometimes hard to do because of jealousy, envy, and greed. Martin quotes, we hold these truths to be self-evident, and all men are created equal. But if evil does not stop, this place we call home will have no sequel. So live for love, freedom, and peace. Forget the evil past. Then we could sing Martin's song, finally, free at last. All mankind, raise up.
Thank you, sister. That was